Good morning, Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man. Reading from Our Daily Bread in Luke chapter 6, verses 27. But if I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. Dear Lord, last year my son was bullied at school. The bully's parents were very difficult to work with and would not admit that their son was at fault. My son got some relief when his class moved up a grade and went to a different classroom. He is fine, but when I see the bully's mother in town or at school, I am not. God, I know I need to release this bitterness from my heart. I need to love, for hating only hurts the soul. Please help me to forgive those who have harmed me or those I love. Going back up to the reading in Luke chapter 6, verses 27, the Lord says, but I say unto you which you hear. So the Lord has spoken to all of us. We have all heard to love our enemies as we love ourselves. We've all heard to love our neighbor. The Lord is saying to love your enemies and do good to them which hate you. The reason why I personally believe he says that is because he did that exact same thing. He loved the people that hated him because they didn't understand what it was that they actually disliked. They didn't understand that they disliked God because he was actually showing them how to live a better life, living a toxic and stressful and a poverty life this whole time. When someone is now trying to show you how to get out of that, you're going to deny them that wisdom because you don't really see a way out. So there was a lot of people around Jesus that didn't believe what he was saying or that didn't believe the miracles that were being performed simply because they have been living in poverty for so long. They began to hate him. And the Lord talks about in Proverbs when there's a certain way you have to teach people and introduce people to God. You just want to be more calm with that because a lot of people may have been turned away from the church. People may have been exposed, when they felt comfortable with someone. So the Lord says there is a way, that you want to approach people, just even talking about God in general, because if you force God onto someone, then that will allow them to hate you. So we don't want to force God on anyone. And we still want to love people in general, no matter what they have going on. Love your enemies and do good to them which hate you. Doesn't mean that you have to go and find everybody that hate you and be nice to them. It just means that if you know that someone has hate towards you in your heart and you cross paths with them, then you are to still love them and to still have respect for them. You don't have to be friends with them, or you don't have to be in their presence. But this person, their testimony is saying, dear Lord, last year my son was bullied at school and I was not having it. I done pulled up to the school and the parents, the thing that got me the most is not the children, because I'm aware that children may, have their indifferences. But the thing that got me the most was that the parents came up there and they just didn't acknowledge that their son was at fault. The parents didn't want to acknowledge that their son started this whole commotion. So now that has left me bitter. But my son is doing good. He's in a different grade, which led him to be in a different classroom. But me, when I see this lady in public, I'm still irritated about it. I'm still bitter about it. The person in their testimony is saying, God, I need you to help me with this bitterness. Help me to love my enemies. Help me to love these parents when I see them in public, because I'm still mad about their son, wanting to fight my son, arguing with my son, and them not acknowledging. So Lord, I need your help, because hating someone only hinders my soul. It's not doing anything to them, because typically the other person that you're hating on, they don't even be thinking about nothing. They don't be caring about that. Or typically the person that you had, and see, some people, I believe, on purpose know what they be doing when they want to start little things. But when people even start stuff, or people know they're in the wrong and they don't acknowledge that, they go on about their day. They're not thinking about you no more. The reason you're still hurt is because you're not that type of person and you would rather resolve the conflict. But there's some bitter people out here. They just go on about their day, act like nothing ever happened, and they just cause drama. Those type of people cause drama. So a little incident is not going to be much to them. But she said, help me to not be bitter and to forgive them and love them when I see them in public, because I still be mad. I can agree with that. But the Lord is telling us to love our enemies as we love ourselves, because that is something he done. The Lord doesn't tell us to do anything that he hasn't done or anything that he wouldn't do. And when you love people, it prevents you from getting older and skin getting saggy and you having health problems just simply because you're not filled with that anger. So Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man, when you get time today, I encourage you to read Luke chapter 6 verses 27, and I encourage you to speak to the Lord about the things that may be, upsetting you and things that you may be holding on to. Let him know the people that cause you hurt and pain, people that you may consider your enemies, and then ask God, how can you help me to love them even when I come into contact with them? I don't want to be angry with these people. I don't want to have no beef. I don't want to have any type of commotion or conflict. Whatever relationship ended the way that it did, but we want to release that bitterness. So I encourage you to get in contact with God and let him know that you need help loving your enemies, because he wants you to do that. And you want to do everything that the Lord asks us to do as much as we can with the information and the resources that we have available. I love you and God bless you.